Hello and welcome to another episode of me painting again. Oh yeah, we're painting again, and this time we're going to have a go at a bit of a seascape painting, a bit different. It's a photo my brother sent me. He was lucky enough to be here and sent me this picture. It's actually out at Flamborough Head area near Bridlington. So what I'm going to do I'm going to stick it over here and use it as my reference. So I can use it reference for colour and design, and then we could just make stuff up. Because we like making stuff up. So I'll stick it there. And I can glance over. So first things first, I need to do a sketch so I know where everything's going to be. Let's get a brush. We'll use a little bit of the doesn't really matter what you use to do your sketch, to be honest. I use a touch of the old burnt umber. So we've got our horizon quite high, so if we have it there, sort of there, one there, and then I'm tempted to change things because the rock is at the top bit. It's quite low. I might have it higher than that to make it a bit more dramatic. Yeah, I'm gonna have my rock go here, 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 and here. That part. And there's this dark bit there. So we're just sketching. No worries. Like I said, we can change things the way we want it to be or whatever. There we go, there's something like that. And then we've got this part, looks like it comes in front a bit. There, goes sort of round like that. Dark areas, and then this big dark area that comes there, which I'll put in mine. Because if you went by the picture, unfortunately, everything would get smaller. And we only have so much space on our canvas. And we want to make the best painting we can on our little canvas. Right, now we've got all these shapes in the water. Under the water you can see all the rock, which is quite nice, really. It's what attracted me to doing this one, actually. So I might just pick out a few of these dry areas. And we'll get them in, and then the rest we can just paint in. And there is actually people in there. We'll decide whether we're going to put the people in when we get further into it. It is interesting. It's an interesting area. I do like the Yorkshire coast up north of the wall. Right, switch brushes. Gonna get myself a drink, I think, so I can drink a bit of water while I'm painting away. So we need to put our sky in. That's a good part to start. And that rhymes. A good part to start on this painting. Oh, can't think of anything. So I'm going for the blue. The blue, I'll just show you my palette actually. Here is my palette of colours. Alizarin crimson, which is there. If I want to darken my blue for the water, I can put in the crimson. Yeah, that's what that's for. The burnt umber is for the rocks. Yellow ochre, the lighter rocks. The Naples yellow, Naples yellow. Yep, that's for the highlights on the rocks, because I'm going to use that as my sunshine colour. Ultramarine blue for the water and the sky. Cerulean blue, same again, water and sky. Viridian green, I might need it, I don't know. And it's on my palette from the last painting. And over here, burnt sienna. Looks like I'll need it in the rock, so there you go, that's what I've got on the palette. And to start with, we need to create a blue sky, so what I might do, let's keep things a bit tropical. See, the cerulean blue makes it look a bit more tropical, you see. So make our sky blue. Sky blue, I might go to a bit more ultramarine. I quite like that, that's quite a warm sky. Let's have a look at it on here. I think it needs to be, looking at it on the reference, I've got it a bit too warm. And I don't want it to ruin the water, you see. So let's throw in some more ultramarine blue. So look at that. Yeah, that's better. So the sky is more to the ultramarine. So let's have a look. We can start painting. It's quite a dark blue. Let's get a bit more white than that. Yeah, that's better. So there's this theory that I think about when I'm painting, that the palette is the beginning. The palette of colours is the beginning, and then the extension to your palette is the canvas. So don't get worried about putting a colour on that you don't like on the canvas and going, oh well, that's it now, that's ruined. Because you think of it like that, it's the palette's the beginning, the painting is the extension to the palette, therefore you can mix your colours on the canvas. So you don't actually have to always go, alright, I'll mix my colour on the palette, all my colours will be mixed, and then I'll paint. You don't have to do that. You can just paint away and mix as you go on the canvas. Impressionists would actually blob their paint, and actually not just Impressionists. Paintings from the past, painters from the past I should say, great painters from the past would put their colours on the painting, and they wouldn't even use their palette, they would just mix them on the canvas surface and then paint. So if they can do it, so can we. So I'm just putting in a bit more ultramarine at the top parts of the sky, and then sort of blend it together. So I don't know why this is, but when we first start painting, we get obsessed with blending. I was obsessed with blending paints, and I don't know why, because I don't really think about it anymore. In fact, most of the time I try not to blend. I'm always thinking about what I can do instead of blending. Strange, isn't it? I suppose once you've blended colours a few times, you think, oh, what else can I do? Just grabbing that blue, let's put that in there. Okay, so there's our sky. I think that looks alright. Always sit back, have a look. Yeah, I quite like it. Not sure how straight it is. Make sure our horizon is fairly straight. Let's have a look. So using the spirit level, you can see it sort of needs to go down a bit there. I mean, I'm going to blend it away almost anyway, but it just gives us a good chance. So I'm going to grab a bit more of that white, a bit more of the white paint, and I'm just going to drag a little bit in there. Just to put in a bit of a soft cloud. Not too much. That'll do. So now I'm thinking the water, I might start putting the water in and then put in the rocks. Yeah, I think I'll do that. So let's grab some more of this blue. I'll just show you some of the blue, ultramarine blue. No, I think it needs a bit of viridian green in it. Blue, let's have a look at that. That's almost exact. Almost exact. So let's put that in at the back. Scrub it in. Okay, then I noticed there's a light area, so we'll put that in as well. Okay, now it goes quite dark. I'm thinking I need to use no white in it to get these dark blues, so I'll do that. Maybe we should actually just wipe my brush on a paper towel. I'm just going to blend this bit to this bit. I'll do. It's just a soft stroke really, just to bring them two together. There we go. Right, let's use another brush. Ooh, yeah, let's try this one. It's a new one. And we're going to make a dark bluey colour, but we're not going to use any white this time. So we've got some blue, a bit of the green, a bit of the viridian green in there. So we've got blue and green. Let's have a look at that. So that's really dark, really dark. So I think if we pick out some really dark areas now with this, it's going to help. So I'm going to have a look around. I'm going to put it in with this brush, see if I like this brush. It's quite soft actually. Don't really like the softer brushes. Not when I want to scrub paint on. Might switch. Just going to make some more of that colour. Let's try this brush. Yeah, that's better. So I'm just going to pick out these dark spots keep mixing some colour. It's quite dark along there. And it's got more of a green shade here, so I'll pick a bit more of the viridian green up. And there, it's got a bit of an area. Scrub it on. You see what happens when you put on pure colour and no white in it? I find it becomes more transparent. And it seems to make it easier. I guess you'll have to try it. So I'm just picking out these sort of dark areas. Remember, some of these areas are going to end up being... just thought. God, it would have been good if I'd have painted the rocks in and then painted the water on top. Sort of, that would have been good. Oh well. I always think of good ideas afterwards. But if I could paint one like that, I might do that on another episode. Let's scrub in some colour there. Have this blue going to there. Right, I'm going to really go for this now. A bit more blue and green, a bit more blue and green. Bit of a drink. Right, let's go for this. So we can change this to our own liking if we want. Sort of looking at what's there. A little bit like that. Sort of pushing that into there. Pushing that together. So take your time if you're doing this. Don't feel like you have to rush. You just do a little bit at a time. What you're doing is you're putting paint on that you want to be pure colour, and the reason you do that is because you get the darkness, you get the transparent feel to the paint. And you play with the colour, whatever colour you want. Quite like that. I think I will put some people in. Let's see how I go. Because I'm trying not to make these videos too long. I try to make a maximum an hour and a half-ish. Of course, if you have a lot of time, you can make these paintings so much more detailed, and you can really go for it. You could really go for it. I think that'll do for my really dark. I can always add more What I want to do now is make the colour of the under part, and it's sort of greeny yellow. So let's see if we can mix a colour that looks like the ground underneath the water. So I've got, let's throw in a bit of yellow ochre. Yellow ochre, ultramarine blue, and viridian green. And a bit of white. Nasty white. Milks all our colours up. Makes them all look rubbish. It's not true. We're close. I might get some of this Naples yellow. So a lot of the Victorian painters, well, as far as I know, I should say that a bit different because I don't know for sure. But I read that they liked Naples yellow instead of white to highlight colours. Because it's a nice colour. Yeah, I'm pretty close now. Bit of Naples yellow in there and it seems to have worked. So maybe they are right. It does work as to lighten a colour instead of using white. So let's start putting this in. So we've got a bit here. It's going to be interesting, actually. See how this works. Because it is sort of different in areas. It's one of those things that it probably look better when you sit back. And then we've got to put little bits of little lines as well of water. So I wanted to paint this because I've never painted out like this before. It looks interesting. Now, one of the most annoying things about oil painting I used to find was I never knew how to do it. I never really knew because I'd watched so many different painters and they'd all do it differently. I used to find that really confusing. I was like, well, which is the best way? What is the best way? They're doing it differently. They're doing it differently. I don't get it. It was a frustrating period. That was really frustrating. And actually, the best way is the way you like doing it. It's not actually the way the masters did it, or the way... Well, it is the way the masters did it. Because they all found the best way that they wanted to do it. See how confusing it is? I'm just going to put a few lines in a different colour there. There we go. So all this is still underwater, but it's sort of surfaced a bit. So when it's got more surface, I suppose it's got more yellow. I'll go to about there, wiggle the brush a bit to give it some changes. Okay, just sit back, have a look at that. I quite like how it's coming on actually. So I've got like these two mixtures now, one with more Naples yellow in than the other. So I can do these bits that are a bit out of the ground, I mean out of the water, more out of the water than the other bits anyway. Just scrub this in. Just scrubbing it in. Just putting little dots in this bit because it's got a bit more. There's a bit more going on. This bit's a bit more to the blue side. Putting a bit of the cerulean there. Okay. I think I need a bit more of the yellows in this. Okay, yeah, a bit more of that than that one. And that one. A bit more. This one there. Just putting a few of these. Okay, I'll try not to go too crazy there. So this goes to here, so that's quite a sandiness there. Bit of the yellow here on top of that. And round. So there's quite a lot going on here, isn't there? There's quite a lot. Get some of this yellow in there. And that bit. On these these areas that are a bit more above. So he's walked to there, to there. Okay, I need to use that dark brush that I used before. Get some dark in this bit there. Don't really like this brush, it's too soft. But it'll do. Do for what I need. Get these sort of shapes in there. Just going to break that up a bit. Then I can add a bit more on the rock. Okay, I've heard that. And we've got this rock here. So these bits are under the water, so there's more blue on them. And there's that bit there. Okay, I might wipe my brush now. Don't think I need. Oh yeah, I do need some bits there. It's kind of as far as that goes. Okay, let's sit back, have a look. I think that'll do for that. I just want to put that bit in there. So I'll use a new brush. Fresh brush. Yellow ochre. Might put a bit of crimson in it. Maple's yellow. That's quite nice. So we'll load the brush. I'm going to do that bit as well. So if you're quite light, you won't mix your colour with what's there. That's okay to fade away into the blue there. Kind of fades there. Okay, quite like that. Just going to grab a bit of blue and brown because I want to darken that bit there. And now it'd be good to start working on these rocks. The rock face. Rock face. Strange how we call it a rock face. The face of the rock. Interesting. Right, so I'm going to get some blue, look. Some blue, some brown. Maybe a bit of red. This is our dark. And we can start putting in our rock. So it goes from here and goes into the water there. Creating our shape. A line there. A line there. Smooth that around. And then got more dark over here. Might as well put in our dark first. Got quite a light area there, so make sure we get that dark in. And then it's quite dark along here again. And at the top bit. There we go. Might put a bit more of the crimson in it. So we've got our dark in now, mostly. Maybe there, there. So use that same dark just to do that bit again. In there. Then here. So I want to change that because that's not right. That's better. Now I can put in my dark that goes along here. And round like that. Okay, so now I want it to be a bit lighter, a bit more to the burnt sienna-y. Let's go some burnt sienna, a bit of white, a bit more of the brown. That's quite a good one. Yeah, that's quite a good colour. Let's put that in there. Lock it in. That going up and then down, round. It goes up again and then down there. There's that rock. Throwing a bit of yellow ochre into that mix. You can see sort of the way that rock goes down there. Just sort of bring that together. Because what I'm going to do is start putting I'll put some lights on top of it. And then it wants to be more to the grey. So I'll throw in some blue. So I'm getting some brown and blue. Oops. I'm making sort of a grey. And I'll start blocking that in with this. Okay. And this bit as well. So we've got it hanging out a bit further like that. Something like that. So that goes a bit more like that. Always sitting back, always having a look. Seeing what you can do, how it can be improved. What's needed. I think we need to darken it a lot more. So, blue in with that brown. That'll make our nice dark that goes down here. Okay, that's that. Okay, so I'm back after I had a bit of a break, had a coffee, got myself refreshed and ready to go again. So what I'm looking at is blocking in a few colours now, because I've still got this white here. We don't want any more white on the canvas. We want to get rid of all the whites. And so I want sort of a burnt sienna-y kind of colour. which would be good. So just wipe this brush quickly and wipe it on a paper towel. Okay, so I'm thinking burnt sienna and Naples yellow would probably get me close. A bit of yellow ochre, a bit of the white. Yeah, that's pretty close. I can see that's pretty close. Yep. So we'll block this in now. So this comes from there. Something like that. Something like that, and something like this. Okay. It's strange how the the way the rock is on there, it sort of goes. We'll come back and do some more on that. We could do with a bit there as well. Something like that. Don't want to do too much there. And also this is too light, so something I noticed. So it's a good idea to have a really good sit back and have a look. Sometimes you need to get up and have a walk and come back, and as you're walking back you can look at your painting and go, oh yeah, that's wrong, that's wrong. And something I noticed was that was just a bit too light. Okay. Actually, while we're at it, I'll pick up some of the light blue to show you. Just getting some white into my light blue. So I might use some of this light to create some shapes. There's like a, you can see waves here and there. So you put these on the top. And this is where it gets interesting, because you get all this under the water and you can paint on the top of it. And don't forget, you can blend them away as well. And if you've used quite a lot of the paint up, it's a good time to do some of the bits further back, because I've used quite a lot of the paint, so I don't want it to be too... Just sit back, have a look at that. Get all these little... You can pull some of the colours, give it more of an underwatery look. Maybe I can add a bit of light there. Okay. In some areas, of course, you want more dark than light, so just get a bit of the red, a bit of the crimson in with my blue. So using ultramarine blue and alizarin crimson, I'm going to make a bit of a darker colour, a bit more of the blue. There we go. So in some of these areas it's dark. Okay. More of the blue, makes up the bluey grey. Bit more of the blue in the viridian. Just gonna put some darker areas in here. Just sort of having a look and putting them in. Looking all over the picture. Okay, let's just sit back, have a look at that. It's looking pretty good. And some little kind of flicks of marks. So like I said, you could go for ages doing this. You could spend ages and ages playing around with it, making it the way you want it to look. think I'm about there now. Just sort of sitting back, having a look at that. Quite like that. I'm going to grab some of the Naples yellow and go over this and this. I don't like that shape. I want that to be more down like that. A few areas I'm going to pull out a bit more. So you got to load your brush up because it's gonna mix a little bit as you do it. Just creating a few of these. Shapes. Sort of a Naples yellow and white. More Naples yellow. I was putting Naples yellow and white in and it just looks too white. I'm not going to use it. So I might start on the rocks. Quite like the effect that I've got now. I might put this light in there. Maybe with a bit of brown in it. A bit of brown and blue. Might get a nice colour for here. So it goes down like that. Area. Warm it up with a bit of yellow for this area. Bit of light there. Bit of light along that. And now I need to throw in some dark. Get some of the blue and the red and the brown. Make our dark. Yeah, that light should be higher. That should be more like there. Throw in some darks. It's quite dark along there. Shaping things. Throwing a bit of blue in my colour. Bit of the light hitting. Go for a really light colour just to make it a lot different. Just playing around with that really. Having fun with it. Sit back, have a look at that. Same result, more darker and that. Kind of goes down to there. Okay, I kind of need a warm, sort of a burnt sienna-y, yellow ochre-y, burnt sienna-y, yellow ochre-y colour. I just put in a few light bits on this rock. I'm not going to go into too much detail, just a few brush strokes probably do it. Just kind of create the illusion of things, and like I said before, I only have really a limited time to do this painting, but you could spend a lot longer on it if you wanted. When you do yours, maybe this will give you an idea of how to do something. Sort of a dull white there. Okay, what we got? Yeah, quite like that. Getting kind of a light blue. So I want to push that together a bit. And then I need that dark. To go into the water. Okay. Just picking out things again. Picking out things I think is important. Okay, I think getting closer. Just sit back, have a look at that. Quite like the way that's developed. Might put in a bit of blue there. Okay, now I think I'll pull this there. Going back into this yellow. Back into the Naples yellow. Get quite a lot. I'm getting quite a lot of paint to do that. Bit there as well. I want to add a bit of this in areas. Kind of lost that bit there. So that's a really light bit, so same with some of these, it's a little bit lost. Okay, so where do I improve it? Where can I see things that I don't see on my painting? Well, I think I could put a little bit more activity in this bit there. And there. Okay. Maybe some more of these. Right. Do I paint that person in? Kind of want to paint that person in. Let's have a look at what brush we've got. I can use this one. So it needs to be quite dark. I'm going to have this guy swimming here. I need a bit of water splashing there. There. It's just an indication of somebody. I think I need a bit lighter pink on the top of his head. That. That kind of looks like someone in the water. Needs a bit more dark on this side. Yeah, and then I'll put a little dot on him. Maybe I could paint this other guy as well. They're quite small, so you can't really see them that well. He's there. He looks a bit like an alien. Could have done with a smaller brush. But we can cheat around him. Okay. A bit of light. I'm gonna have to wait for this to dry to put him in properly, I think. Yeah, let's leave him. I don't think he's gonna go in until it's dry, really. Paint him out. I don't know about that guy as well. I might paint him out. Might paint him in when it's dry. So you never really know if you can suddenly do an amazing brushstroke. Sometimes you can. I think my brushes are a bit too big for adding little people in. Anyway, I think we'll call that one finished. And maybe we'll put some people in afterwards. But really, I just wanted to get a nice looking painting with a few of the rocks, a bit of the water. I'm tempted now. I know you can't see any white water in the picture, but I kind of like the idea of a few breakers. Maybe one break in there. Maybe I can put one here. Just turning over there. Maybe a bit of one there. Might just add something. Maybe there's a bit of a up here. Kind of like the idea of that. Maybe a bit there. Yeah, I kind of like that. I think we'll call this one finished for now. Like I said, you could do a lot more, but hopefully this shows you a way of getting a painting done and getting something done, and then you can always add boats and people and things at a later date. When this is dry, all you need to use is an oilier paint to add people and boats and all sorts, birds, and you can even wait for it to dry and improve upon the painting. But anyway, for now, I'll call this one finished. Thanks very much for watching this one, and I'll see you in another one. Cheers, bye.